Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Narum Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 19, The Killing of Demon Hiranyaksha, text number 34 onwards. Anyesham punya shlokanam muddam yashasam satam upshutya bhavain moda shrivatsankasya kim punah. What to speak of hearing the pastimes of the Lord, whose chest is marked with Shrivatsa. People may take transcendental pleasure even in hearing of the works and deeds of the devotees, whose fame is immortal. Bhagavatam literally means the pastimes of the Lord and the Lord's devotees. For example, there are pastimes of Lord Krishna and narrations of devotees like Prahlad, Dhruva, and Maharaj Ambarish. Both pastimes pertain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because the devotees' pastimes are in relationship with Him. The Mahabharata, for example, the history of the Pandavas and their activities, is sacred because the Pandavas had a direct relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the Devtas, the demigods, praying, and then Sut Goswami was speaking that Maitreya, he was receiving very transcendental bliss by speaking the pastimes, and Vidura was hearing the pastimes of the Lord. And here he's saying, what to speak of the pastimes of the Lord? Even the devotees' pastimes are very good to hear. People relish hearing. So just like Prabhupada says in the purport, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Maharaj Ambarish, when we go and come across these pastimes, we'll be amazed because it's all in relationship with Krishna or with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yo Gajendram Jhashgrastam Dhyayantam Charanam Bhujam Kroshantinam Karenunam Krichruto Amochayadrutam. The personality of Godhead delivered the king of the elephants who was attacked by an alligator and who meditated upon the lotus feet of the Lord. At that time, the female elephants who accompanied him were crying, and the Lord saved them from impending danger. The example of the elephant in danger who was saved by the Supreme Lord is especially cited here because even if one is an animal, he can approach the personality of Godhead in devotion service. Whereas even a demigod cannot approach the Supreme Person unless he is a devotee. Of course, demigods are devotees. But it just to mention how superlative the devotion service is. If an animal can perform devotion service, then he can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is why when Prabhupada established this movement and he gave Brahman Diksha to devotees of Western countries, the Brahmins of India, they objected, but Prabhupada was hell-bent. But he was like, if any person is doing devotion service, he's a Vaishnava, and Vaishnava is better than a Brahman. So here, even animals can do devotional service. There's no limitation. Of course, it's very rare that the animals can do devotion service. But nevertheless, it's open for all. Tam sukharadhyam mrijubhir ananya sharananribhi kritagya ko na seveta duraradhyam asadubhi. What grateful soul is there who would not render his loving service to such a great master as the personality of Godhead? The Lord can be easily pleased by spotless devotees who resort exclusively to Him for protection, though the unrighteous man finds it difficult to propitiate Him. Every living entity, especially persons in the human race, must feel grateful for the benedictions offered by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Anyone, therefore, with a simple heart of gratefulness must be Krishna conscious and offer devotion service to the Lord. Those who are actually thieves and rogues do not recognize or acknowledge the benedictions offered to them by the Supreme Lord, and they cannot render Him devotional service. Ungrateful persons are those who do not understand how much benefit they are deriving by the arrangement of the Lord. They enjoy the sunshine and moonshine, and they get water free of charge. Yet they do not feel grateful, but simply go on enjoying these gifts of the Lord. Therefore, they must be called thieves and rogues. And this is what Vinay Prabhu was mentioning the other day, that at home he was discussing, we are getting this sunshine, moonshine, water, air, free of charge. The soil and from the soil, all the different kinds of foods we are getting. But we are not grateful to the Lord. We're not. And we think this is our birthright, that we can just enjoy. Yes, it is our birthright, but we should be grateful. That's also our duty. As long as there are rights, there are always responsibilities or duties to do. But we forget the duties and we claim the rights. That's a problem. And this is a problem. And those who are actually thieves and rogues do not recognize or acknowledge the benedictions offered to them. And that's why the thieves and rogues, they are the ones who get punished. And the punishment is we get into different bodies after we leave this body, or even when we are in this body, we have to go through Adideve, Adibhote, Adhyatmik Klesh. We have to suffer. These kleshas are for everybody who has material body. Means in the material world, we cannot run away from these kleshas, these miseries. Everybody will have to suffer this. And then on top of it, even though we think, oh, this is mine, that is mine, because I have such a big piece of land and I'll get more sunshine and moonshine. Of course not. We'll not get any more than what we deserve. But at the time of death, we have to leave everything. And that is also inevitable. Cannot avoid that, no matter how much we try. So the best way to live is to live with the life of Krishna consciousness. Live very simply and live a life of bhakti. That's all. Offer everything back to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, thieves and rogues, we will be thieves and rogues, and the punishment is awaiting us. It's not. We can run away. And it's also not that, oh, just because I go to temple every Mangalwar and then every Thursday and then every Friday and then every Saturday, I'll not suffer. Or every Monday also, I'll not suffer. Okay, those are pious activities. We get the results for that. But for whatever sins we commit, we have to suffer. Bhakti is the only process which not only removes the reactions to the sins, but it also removes the inclination to commit sin. That's more important. Inclination, even the tendency to commit sins, go away. And then, with a grateful, humble heart, we recognize everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna consciousness is what? Everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is a controller, proprietor, enjoyer of everything. Everything. Even this body does not belong to me, it belongs to Krishna. This soul does not belong to me, it belongs to Krishna. But it takes lots and lots of realizations to come to this level. Yo vai hiranyaksha vadham mahadbhutam vikriditam karanasukaraatmanah shrunoti gayati anumodate anjasa vimuchyati brahmvadhadapi dvijaha. O Brahmins, anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as a firstborn in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of the sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahman. So this is a Shruti Phal, it's given at every time when there's a demon is killed. So Shruti Phal is one who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of the killing of the Hiranyaksha demon. What will happen? It's just hearing, nothing else. We're not doing anything else. We're not enacting, we're not memorizing the shlokas, we're not or do anything else. Like get up and do Arti of Varahadev and do some tapasya or do some fasting or go to Himalayas. Nothing. This is the power of Srimad Bhagavatam actually. And this is why Vyasadeva gave Bhagavatam for the people of Kali Yuga. Anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure, just enjoy the wonderful narration of the killing of Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord. That's all. Who appeared as a firstborn in order to deliver the world is at once. Here, this is Bhagavatam. It doesn't mix words. At once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even the killing of a Brahman. Brahmhatya is considered the worst kind of sin. Even the killing of a Brahman, that kind of sin, sinful reaction, the result is gone, completely gone. Why? Because this is bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Shravanam, this is what we are doing. Bhagavatam is what Shravanam, listening is Shravanam. This is bhakti. All we have to do is listen with faith and enjoy the pastimes. Relish the pastimes. That's all. Since the personality of Godhead is in the absolute position, there is no difference between his pastimes and his personality. Anyone who hears about the pastimes of the Lord associates with the Lord directly. And one who associates directly with the Lord is certainly freed from all sinful activities, even to the extent of the killing of a Brahman, which is considered the most sinful activity in the material world. One should be very eager to hear about the activities of the Lord from the bona fide source, the pure devotee. If one simply gives oral reception to the narration and accepts the glories of the Lord, then he is qualified. The impersonalist philosophers cannot understand the activities of the Lord. They think that all his activities are Maya. Therefore, they're called Mayavadis. Since everything to them is Maya, these narrations are not for them. Some impersonalists are reluctant to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, although many of them are now taking an interest in it just for a monetary gain. Actually, however, they have no faith. On the contrary, they describe it in their own way. We should not hear, therefore, from the Mayavadis. We have to hear from Suta Goswami or Maitreya, who actually present the narrations as they are. And only then can we relish the pastimes of the Lord. Otherwise, the effects on the neophyte audience will be poisonous. So with faith, with some respect, with sincerity, if we hear about these pastimes and relish. Prabhupada saying it is like directly relating with the Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord is not different from his pastimes. Everything is on absolute level. And when we associate with the Lord, all our sinful activities are gone. Not just sinful activities are gone. We develop love for Krishna. We develop love for the Supreme Personality of God. That's how powerful this hearing process is. But at the same time, Prabhupada cautions us, we should hear from the right person. Text 38. Etan mahapunyam alam pavitram dhanyam yashasyam padamayu rashisham pranendriyanam yadi shaurya vardhanam narayano ante gatiranga shanmatam. This most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord, O dear Shaunaka. See more benefits of hearing these pastimes. Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, and even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits, such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. So if you want wealth, that's also there in this process. If somebody wants to be famous, longevity means long life, other desirable aims of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, everything can be delivered. Because this is the process of bhakti. And bhakti can deliver anything and everything. Even Krishna Prem. But Krishna Prem is the one that is that one can attain after a long time performing pure devotion service. But other than that, anything, everything is available through bhakti. Wealth, fame, long life, anything you want. But if somebody really wants Krishna Prem, the real wealth that the soul is looking for, the real wealth that will always remain with us, for that wealth one has to work hard. Definitely one has to work hard. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal. One is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. That is the supreme, sublime result of engaging in devotion service. The beginning of devotion service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended 5 items of devotion service, namely to serve the devotees of the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to worship the deity of the Lord, and to live in a place of pilgrimage. Just performing these 5 activities can deliver one from the miserable conditions of material life. Otherwise, the material life is very, very, very miserable. Look at people these days. Those who are just leading material life, they are running here and there crazy. They're going crazy about making money and having relationship with opposite sex or something else. They're going crazy because everybody is looking for happiness. Ultimately, this is all part of the same same goal, but they don't know where to look. And real places are given 5 items of devotional service. Of all the 64 limbs, 5 items are considered the most important, the basis. Serve the devotees, chant Hare Krishna, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, worship the deity, and live in a dham. Of all these, actually, the association of devotees is the most important. Because only in the association of devotees, one can chant Hare Krishna, one can hear Srimad Bhagavatam, one can worship the deities, and one can live in a place of pilgrimage. In fact, wherever the devotees are living, that place becomes the place of pilgrimage. So this is how important reading or hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is. It's Amala Puran, and only by hearing it attentively and relishing the pastimes, one can go back home back to Godhead. And it is said in this verse only, one who hears it at the end of his life, he'll be transferred back to the Vaikuntha Loka. One is sure to be transferred to the eternal, transcendental abode of the Lord, if at the end of life one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. But since we don't know when we're going to come to our end of our lives, so we better listen to it every day. So there ends the 19th chapter. So we'll start the 20th chapter, entitled Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. So more conversation means more questions Vidurji is going to ask. Next one. Shonak uvacha mahim pratishtha madhyasya saute swayam bhuvo manu kanyan vatishchat dwarani margaya varjanmanam. So now he's going back to Shonak Rishi. So Suta Goswami, because the last 2 or 3 verses are spoken by Suta Goswami. And he talked about that Vidurji is asking and Maitreya Muni is speaking. Now Shonak Rishi is asking him question. Shri Shonak inquired, O Suta Goswami, after the earth was again situated in its orbit, what did Swayambhuva Manu do to show the path of liberation to persons who were to take birth later on? So it's funny, Shonak Rishi asked this question, and he didn't even ask about Hiranyakashipu, the brother of Hiranyaksha. What did he do? Because that question will come later on. Now he is saying, what did Swayambhuva Manu do to show the path of liberation? The appearance of the Lord as the firstborn incarnation occurred during the time of Swayambhuva Manu, whereas the present age is in the period of Vavasvat. So this answers question of Pramod Prabhu. Each Manu's period lasts 72 times a cycle of 4 ages. Actually, it's 71 plus something more to account for the transition. But Prabhupada says 72, let's go with that. And one cycle of age equals 43,20,000 solar years. Thus 43,20,000 times 72 solar years is a reign of one Manu. In each Manu's period, there are many changes in many ways, and there are 14 Manus within one day of Brahma. It's understood here that Manu creates a scriptural regulations for the salvation of the conditioned souls who come to the material world for material enjoyment. The Lord is so kind that any soul who wants to enjoy in this material world is given full facility for enjoyment. And at the same time, he is shown the path of salvation. Shonak Rishi therefore inquired from Suta Goswami, what did Swayambhuva Manu do after the reinstatement of the earth in its orbital situation? So earth is reinstated, and so what did Swayambhuva Manu? Because every Manu is All the Manus are incarnations of the Lord, Manvantar Avatar. So Krishna just says in Bhagavad Gita, I come to establish the Dharma, Dharma Sansthapanarthaya, Sambhavami Yuga Yuga. So even as Swayambhuva Manu, he has to establish the Dharma. And that Dharma establishment is basically for the people who want to follow Dharma and want to make their lives successful. Text 2. Shakta Mahabhagavata Krishnasya Kantikah Suhrit Yastatyajagram Krishne Sapatyam Aghavaniti. Shaunak Rishi inquired about Vidura, who was a great devotee and friend of Lord Krishna, and who gave up the company of his elder brother because the latter, along with his sons, played tricks against the desires of the Lord. So this is about Dhritarashtra, who gave up the company of his elder brother because the later Dhritarashtra with his sons played tricks against the desires of the Lord. The incident referred to here is that Vidura left the protection of his elder brother Dhritarashtra, went traveling everywhere to sacred places, and met Maitreya at Haridwar. Shaunak Rishi here inquires about the topics of conversation between Maitreya Rishi and Vidura. Vidura's qualification was that he was not only a friend of the Lord, but also a great devotee. When Krishna tried to stop the war and mitigate the misunderstanding between the cousin brothers, they refused to accept his counsel. Therefore, Kshipta or Vidura was unsatisfied with them, and he left the palace. As a devotee, Vidura showed by example that anywhere that Krishna is not honored is a place unfit for human habitation. A devotee may be tolerant regarding his own interests, but he should not be tolerant when there is misbehavior towards the Lord or the Lord's devotees. Here the word Aghavan is very significant, for it indicates that Kauravas, Dhritarashtra's sons, lost the war because of being sinful in disobeying the instructions of Krishna. So this is what the last words of Bhagavad Gita is actually. Sanjay said, wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Arjuna, the great archer Arjuna, or the devotee Arjuna actually, that's where lies the morality, the victory. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurha, Tatra Shrir, Vijyor Bhutir Nitirmam Bhavanitirmama, something like that. So that's where the victory is, that's where the opulence is, that's where the morality is, wherever there is Krishna and his devotees. That is the real morality actually. Otherwise, whatever so-called morality we see in the material world, it's not morality. It's just like in the previous verses we read, if a person is not grateful to the Lord for all the Lord has given him, he is considered thief and rogue. So what kind of morality we can expect from thieves and rogues? They may give big talks and very nice, make nice rules and laws and this and that. The first rule or first law should be, God should be in the center. Not in name, but in practicality of everybody's life. That is the real morality. Otherwise, the morality of thieves is like, if say a bunch of thieves go to somebody's house and they steal stuff from his house, and then they run from the house and they're carrying the booty with them, and they come to the jungle or the place where they were hiding, the hideout is there, and then they all bring the booties, and then they say, oh, we should all divide up this booty very honestly, very fairly, equally. So the problem with all this is, you're thieves, first of all. How can you be talking about honesty when you have stolen money, stolen goods from somebody else? How can he even talk about honesty? In these days, this is what the barometer of honesty is, which is always changing, which is, okay, now we have the boundary wall. This is American, this is Canada, this is Mexico, this is India, this is Pakistan, this is China. So this boundary wall, we have drawn up these boundary walls. The Krishna never drew those boundary walls, but we have drawn up. So now everybody remains in their own boundary. So that is honesty. That's not honesty. Real honesty, real morality is no boundary wall. Everything belongs to Krishna, and we live happily together, serving each other, serving Krishna. We can't even imagine that kind of situation. But in Satyuga and other yugas, that situation was there. And the whole earth was under the control of one king, Maharaj Bharat, or other kings also. Even Yudhishthira Maharaj, even Parikshit Maharaj, he was a king of the whole world. Text number 3. Dvapanaya navaru mahitve tasya dehaja sarvatmana shutah krishnam tatparaschapi anuvritaha. Vidura was born from the body of Vedvyas and was not less than he. Thus he accepted the lotus feet of Krishna wholeheartedly and was attached to his devotees. The history of Vidura is that he was born of a Shudra mother, but his seminal father was Vyasadeva. Thus he was not less than Vyasadeva in any respect. Since he was born of a great father who was supposed to be an incarnation of Narayan and who composed all the Vedic literatures, Vidura was also a great personality. He accepted Krishna as his worshipable Lord and followed his instructions wholeheartedly. So here, Sudha Goswami is saying Vidura was son of a Shudra mother, but the father was Vedvyas. So he had the qualities of Vedvyas in him. And he was attached to his devotees. Attached to his devotees in the sense that he always protected Pandavas from whatever tricks Duryodhana was playing around and Shakuni was instigating him. Whatever they were doing, Vidura was always protecting Pandavas. Kim anva prichan maitreyam rajas-tirtha sevaya upgamya kushavarta asinam tattva vittamam. Vidura was purified of all passion by wandering in sacred places. And at last he reached Haridwar, where he met the great sage who knew the science of spiritual life. And he inquired from him. Shaunak Rishi therefore asked, what more did Vidura inquire from Maitreya? So that was a real question. What else did he ask? What else did he ask? Not that, oh, okay, yeah, we heard the story of Lord Varahadev, now we can all go home. No, hearing actually should give rise to more hearing. Just like Prabhupada said, by chanting we are asking for more chanting. So chanting leads to more chanting. Hearing should lead to more hearing. Here the words Virajas Tirtha Sevaya refers to Vidura, who was completely cleansed of all contamination by traveling to places of pilgrimage. In India, there are hundreds of sacred places of pilgrimage, of which Prayag, Haridwar, Vrindavan, and Rameshwaram are considered principal. After leaving his home, which was full of politics and diplomacy, Vidura wanted to purify himself by traveling to all the sacred places, which was so situated that anyone who goes there automatically becomes purified. This is especially true in Vrindavan. Any person may go there, and even if he is sinful, he will at once contact an atmosphere of spiritual life and will automatically chant the names of Krishna and Radha. That we have actually seen and experienced. It is recommended in the Shastras that after retiring from active life and accepting the Vanaprastha retired order, one should travel everywhere to the places of pilgrimage in order to purify one himself. Vidura completely discharged his duty and at last he reached Kushavrita or Hardwar, where the sage Maitreya was sitting. So, although we read the other day from Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the Sanatana Goswami says that the Vrindavan that we go to is basically a covering on the real Vrindavan. But even if it is Maya Vrindavan or imitation Vrindavan, whatever you want to call it, still it has the potency of some potency of Vrindavan. So whenever we get a chance, we should go there. You all are so living so close to Vrindavan. You can go practically every month and just absorb in the atmosphere of Vrindavan. Go with a mood of service. Go with a mood of chanting, that I want to sit and chant. I want to do some service. I want to associate with Brajvasis. That is really going, and then definitely it will have effect. Even if it is covered, the real Vrindavan is covered, it will still have plenty of effect on our heart. So the idea is try to go there and do some tapasya over there. Tapasya means our tapasya is of chanting and doing some parikrama. So then definitely we'll have lots of mercy of the Dham and lots of changes will take place, positive changes. Another significant point is that one must go to the sacred places, not only to take bath there, but to search out great sages like Maitreya and take instructions from them. If one does not do so, his traveling to places of pilgrimage is simply a waste of time. Narottam Das Thakur, a great acharya of the Vaishnava sect, has for the present forbidden us to go to such places of pilgrimage because in this age the times have so changed. A sincere person may have a different impression on seeing the behavior of the present residents of the pilgrimage sites. He has recommended that instead of taking the trouble to travel to such places, one should concentrate his mind on Govinda, and that will help him. Of course, to concentrate one's mind on Govinda in any place is a path meant for those who are the most spiritually advanced. It's not for ordinary persons. Ordinary persons may still derive benefit from traveling to holy places like Prayag, Mathura, Vrindavan, and Haridwar. So we'll still get benefit. Of course, Narottam Das Thakur says, sit at home and chant and absorb, meditate on the holy Dham and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that situation comes much later. So for that we need lots of purification. It is recommended in this verse that one find a person who knows the science of God, or a Tattvavit. Tattvavit means one who knows the absolute truth. There are many pseudo-transcendentalists, even at the places of pilgrimage. Such men are always present, and one has to be intelligent enough to find the actual person to be consulted. Then one's attempt to progress by traveling to different holy places will be successful. One has to be freed from all contamination, and at the same time, he has to find a person who knows the science of Krishna. Krishna helps a sincere person, as stated in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasade. By the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, one attains the path of salvation, devotional service. If one sincerely searches for spiritual salvation, then Krishna, being situated in everyone's heart, gives him the intelligence to find a suitable spiritual master. By the grace of a spiritual master like Maitreya, one gets a proper instruction and advances in his spiritual life. So, So Prabhupada says one has to be freed from all contamination. And then if one travels to the holy places, then one will meet a sadhu or a devotee whom he can associate with and listen to. But at the same time, Prabhupada says towards them, if one sincerely searches for spiritual salvation, Krishna will make the arrangements. So if he is really sincere that I want to go to Dham and I want to associate with right people, Dhamvasis, and some sadhu who I can listen to, if the desire is sincere, Krishna will make the arrangements. He'll definitely make the arrangements. But if the desire is sinful, means I want to take advantage, I want to show off as a big sadhu and big devotee, then Krishna will arrange such a cheater person for us to associate with. So he is there to help in any way possible. We just have to have the right desire. So one should try to go to Dham, and one should try to meditate or chant or do some service in Delhi or wherever one is outside Dham, so that one gets the right mood or right desire to enter the Dham. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
One more naive question. So here Prabhupada has mentioned Prayag, Haridwar, Vrindavan and Rameshwaram as the places of pilgrimage. So this Prayag is Rajna, earlier known as Allahabad.
Yeah.
And Rudra Prayag or those Prayag nahi hai.
No, not that. But that comes from the Haridwar anyway. So
And how
means Rishikesh. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Prabhuji. And how about places like Dwarka Dham and Puri Dham?
Definitely. I mean, although Prabhupada didn't list all of them, yes, Dwarka and Jagannath Puri, definitely there are dhams. Ayodhya, of course, he didn't list Ayodhya either. So there are so many, hundreds and hundreds of sacred places in India.
Prabhuji, Delhi is also a sacred place, not Delhi. Here, because Lord Krishna had come. And once you had said Prabhupada was also there, so this also a pilgrimage place.
Yeah, Delhi is a sacred place, no doubt. It was the Indraprasth where Pandavas ruled. So Krishna came many times to Delhi. And Prabhupada also lived there. And then moreover, temples are there. No? So many ISKCON temples are there in Delhi. So it is a dham.
True, Prabhuji.
And the devotees are there. Harinam is there. So it is a dham. But the original dhams like Vrindavan and Jagannath Puri and those places, they'll have the different effect on a person who visits those places.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
And Prabhuji, the other naive question again. So I remember in many discussions ago, it was told that Brahmaji is 50 plus years old, and that is why Lord Jagannath is worshipped. Sorry, I'm taking that reference. So there means many Manus would have already passed. Huh?
Oh yeah. Every day of Brahma has 14 Manus.
And this devastation and all happens every day.
Yep.
very complicated science.
Every day of Brahma, 14 manos, 30 days make 1 month, and 12 months make 1 year, and so 50 some years are already passed.
I've heard, Prabhuji, at Mayapur Dham, this new temple of Vedic planetarium that has been created. I think they have some animation which shows all this. That's what I've heard.
There will be, yes. That is the whole idea. Temple of Vedic Planetarium, TOVP. So some creation, some different ideas will be there. Exactly how, I don't know.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Any other question or comment? So I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.